Alrighty, what is going on? Welcome back to the YouTube. We're in here at Powerhouse for push. I haven't actually filmed a training session, a full-on just training session video in a while. There might be some YouTube videos out prior to this that I'm not quite sure when the order is. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we're going to give it a whirl anyway. So started off with some lateral raises on the Flex Fitness lower raise, which went really well. Did a top set with a stack plus 17.5 for I think 12 reps, and another couple sets with like 10 kilos and 5 kilos respectively added onto the stack. So obviously the pump cover is off momentarily while I still get these elbow sleeves on, but they'll come back on in a tick as we get warmed up on the shoulder press. I'm going to be a bit raw and real, just take you through the session, let you know my thoughts as and when we get through it, but here we go, let's get after it. So the lighting is not doing me any wonders here, or any justice here, is it? But that's okay, bit of a golden hour. Tell you what, I'm an absolute stickler, and the reason I'm saying it for getting the machine set up in the way that you want it to. That way you can, jump straight into it and get after it. So for example, I have the arm height here at number 3, I have the seat at number 9, and the back pad at number 2. So I have that written in my logbook. So I know I can jump in and not have to fuss around. You know what it's like when you jump on a new piece of kit and you don't know, is the back right, is the arm path right, which creates a bit more, what's the word? Consistency, or I don't know what word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. Continuity was the word I was after. So anyway, I'll strap up here, and we've got 3 plates for probably what will be the second last warm-up set before I get to my top set. So one of the questions I do actually get a fair bit from my clients is in terms of warm-up sets and how to approach that in terms of structuring it. So I use this as an example. So I'm likely doing 4.5 plates for a top set. Now I'm obviously not going to go straight to 4 plates and then 4.5 or that kind of thing. So the way I structure it is, actually, let me just do this warm up and then I'll tell you. So the way that I would structure my warm-up sets, and obviously this is my second movement of the day, so I'm probably going to want to warm up a fair bit more compared to if this was later on in the session. So how I'd go about it is knowing that 4.5 is the end goal, hence the importance of tracking, so you know what your end goal top set is going to look like, is that I'll typically go 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate, 4.5 plates. So my general rule of thumb is generally on most movements a plate at most on the warm-ups, and then that last jump before, I don't want that last jump to be any greater than the jump prior. So we go from 3 to 4 and then to 4.5. I wouldn't want to go 1, 2, 3 plates and then all the way to 4.5. So I want that a bit of the last jump to be the smallest jump. And then in terms of rep ranges, I think on 1 plate I might have done 8 reps, 2 plates I did 5, 3 plates I did 3, and I might just do 1 or 2 reps with 4 plates, and then we'll jump into top set. Alrighty, top set, 4.5 plates. 3, 2. Yes. Yes. Is that 7? I think it was 7. That's nice. Last rotation was 4.5 plates, the same weight for 6. Went for the 7th, but couldn't lock it out. So that's a progression there. So we've got our back off set here with 4 plates. This was actually my top set loading towards the back end of the contest prep. So it's good to see that obviously we've progressed that. And then we've progressed the back off such that it's now what the top set used to be, which is a good sign. Yes. Oh, big rep. So freaking close, so close. So I count that last rep. That's 4 plates for 9/10 reps. So close to locking out that one. You know, with a spot, it would have been definitely there. Anyway, maybe I've got a crossover fatigue from that top set, but anyway, let's crack on. I think the Flex Fitness chest press here that I'm using is one of the most butchered exercises in terms of people just rounding their shoulders and they end up just doing a bit of a front delt press and actually not incorporating the chest. So the way that I like to go about it and think about it is almost like a scooping up approach with my elbows and pressing in an upward trajectory as opposed to your shoulders being rounded and you're almost pressing flat. That way you can retract your scapula, keep your chest forward and keep your front delts out of it. So even down here on the concentric, I'm bringing my elbows down and then I'll be driving up. Alright, one more warm up and then we'll get into a top set. Okay, here we go, top set, 3 plates plus a 2.5 per side. Lincoln Park. 3, 2. Oh yeah, that's a match rep with 7. Sorry, that's a matched rep set with 7 reps. Did you notice that the little fluffy thing on the mic? It's sort of tickling my nose. Anyway, I'm gonna do a back off with I think probably 2.5, and make sure that the mic is not in a position where it's going to tickle my face. Lucky I looked at my logbook because last rotation I actually added a 1.25 per side. So 2.5 plates plus a 1.25 per side. So fortunately, I checked. Double check how many reps I got last rotation so that I can ensure that the loading is effectively the same and we can aim to progress reps. Oh yes. Gosh, that 10th was a grinder, but last rotation I went for the 10th, couldn't lock it out. This time, locked it out. That's progress. Alright, onto the dip, tricep focus dip. So we've got 115 kilos loaded, which is 5 kilos shy of 3 plates per side. As I said, tricep bias, meaning we're trying to stay a bit more upright compared to when it's a chest bias dip, when we're more leant over at the torso and at the hips, which will prioritize our chest a little bit more, which I do that in my other push session rotation. I've also got my trusty seatbelt, shout out Jim Pin, to help me stay locked in, and which is quite important on dip machines that don't have either a knee pad or a seatbelt, already in or connected to the machine. So let's wrap this around the bottom of the seat, wrap it around. This one is quite challenging to get down when you don't have a spot or a lift off, but Olivia's at home with Finley, so of course we can't expect her to be here. Not quite. Okay, onto the cuff lateral. Oh, yes. First out in these new MBW joggers. They're the thick ones. They're the, didn't they call them the caramel or the latte colour? I also did order the hoodie in the same colour, but they ran out of stock, so fortunately we don't. But I did get the same in grey, so can't be wearing the matches. But yeah, what do we think of the latte and then the blue hoodie? Shout out MBW. And I've also got an MBW t-shirt as well, so repping the whole brand, but quite the rogue colour combination. I know earlier in the video I was talking about warm-up sets and that kind of thing, particularly for the shoulder press, but for something like the cuff lateral, like I literally didn't do a warm-up set because I know what weight I need to use. It's not something I really need to get accustomed to. You know, I might just do sometimes if I'm up or wanting to, I might do one sort of feeler set just to get used to the movement. It's not actually a warm-up set, it's just a acclimation to the movement pattern. I've already done laterals in this session, my delts are pumped, I'm all pumped. There's no warming up required, as you can see I'm sweating bullets here, so just a bit of guidance, you know, particularly in isolations. The amount of warm-ups you need to do, pretty minimal, if any. An absolute staple if you're wanting to grow your arms is any form of overhead tricep extension, whether that's on a cable or a machine. Often a machine like this one, for example, like the Flex Fitness overhead extension, or I know there's a new tech overhead extension here, but I just don't like the handle there. It, you know, leaves you in a pretty stable position in terms of fixed. I know there's actually the Panada overhead extension, but it just, the way that it moves around, I'm not a huge fan of. So yeah, big advocate for anything that's overhead that'll hit the long head of your tricep. Nice. 10 reps, that's a matched rep set. Pretty close to getting back to the stack. I was touching the stack peak off season, but obviously dropped off a bit in prep, but I have no doubt that I'll get back there. Maybe even next rotation. Single arm, tough stuff. Tricep extension, if that's what you want to call it. I've been really enjoying it lately. I mean, it's a good alternative to just, you know, a cable tricep press down. Able to load up decently well, so obviously just doing one arm at a time. I don't mind that little bit of help with the opposite arm just to get it down and then just control the eccentric on the way back up. Anyway, head off and do the right arm. I've already done 1 set prior to this, but doing 3 sets total, so 3 per arm. It is a bit more time consuming doing it unilaterally, but it feels a lot better and is really effective. All right, let's go with the chest fly. Nice big stretch. Stretch the upper top of the pec. Nice big contraction. Chest is absolutely pumped. 1 more set. All right, just wrapping up here with 3 sets of ab crunches on the Nautilus ab crunch. I was previously doing rope ab crunches, but have since substituted in ab crunch machine. Keeps me a bit more locked in and fixed in, as opposed to on the rope, which I was invariably stacking most of the time. A nice little change up. So why not? And I do like this Nautilus ab crunch machine. Anyway, that's going to round out the session. It's been a push session. I hope you've enjoyed it. So this is how a pro natural bodybuilder trains push in the off season to grow chest, shoulders, triceps, abs, all the bits and bobs. So if you do enjoy, please like, please comment what else you would like to see in future videos. Please subscribe and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with all the latest YouTube content. New video every Sunday, 5 p.m. But until then, catch you in the next one.